can't help but maybe it does negate a lot of hero options, specifically the one I'm thinking of. Maybe Bat Rider might be second guessed from EG, but what do you think about the Tidehunter with its early grab here? It's not the first time we've seen it. I believe VG also keen on the second pick Tide.
Yeah, it's a really good frontliner to have. It's a safe pick for ROTK, and like you mentioned, it makes that Bat Rider pick for EG a lot less appealing. So it saves, in theory, it can save you a ban. Like they're not banning the Bat in the second stage, which otherwise they may have felt pressured to do so. That means they can throw in this ban on the Drow Ranger, which EG ran in one of their games against Vici and used it in kind of like this early push strat, the Chen, similar story. So I like the Tide pick, but I think all in all, EG, they've got a plan. They're ready to deal with the Earth Spirit to some extent. Lina, very strong water kill power in the mid lane. You get rolled on, you just turn and fight, you throw your spells and hope for the best.
And she might need some assistance though. It's
an
Earth Spirit after all. You might have someone there at the beckoning call. I don't know what it would take. We've seen the Momoyan himself pull out the support Sven to kind of get the job done, but I wager EG are going to have something prepared for it. So, with that said, continue on with the bans and get rid, of course, of the Witch Doctor Viper. On the other side, Chen's got to go, and the Drow Ranger also. You know, it wouldn't be the first time we would have seen the two ladies with the auras together, but we'll see where EG do priority next.
Yeah, you have Venge. You can take Roche very easily. EG sometimes go for the Lycan in this kind of a situation. I think OD is still a really good pick for EG. They'd have to run it in the safe lane, but it's a great matchup against Tidehunter. It's our TZ Classic at this point. He's been playing it a lot throughout MDL, and gives him a big team fight, which can now combo with the Shaker.
You said Roche option, and I couldn't help but think of maybe TA maybe as a possible option.
I think they're playing the Sumail Lina mid is what it's going to be. I don't see them running a support Lina.
It's a confident grab, considering, like you said, like OD is something that's still out there that maybe LGD could have for maybe. I don't know if it's something maybe does prefer or not, but
I feel like this could be the attempted answer to the Earth Spirit roaming to help out the mid lane. Support Fear Shaker. He's going to be kind of roaming around, protecting Lina mid. You get a roll in, and it kind of goes back to what I'm talking about. Like, you just stand your ground and fight. You get hit by the slope, by the rolling boulder. Well, you've got a fissure to back you up. Then you get some right clicks off. You throw your stun. You throw your Dragon Slave. And early on, Earth Spirit's still level 1. Like, you can go for that kill if you've got like a level 3 or so Lina. Earth Shaker only needs a level 1 fissure.
Yeah, force the mid laner out from being able to participate could be very nice here. And look at this. Visage coming out. And with Drow already taken out of the field, maybe LGD could be considering the Sylar Lycan throw
themselves, yeah.
Yeah. Sylar Lycan could be a thing.
They really like the Visage standalone, but I absolutely like Sylar, perhaps one of the top 2, top 3 Lycan players out there. Probably like him, Martese, and I'm not sure who else you put in that pool of Lycan pickers, but a really good pick for LGD here, because they lack any heroes that actually break buildings or take objectives right now. Visage gives you a bit of physical damage, so I could see Lycan fitting in nicely, unless they have something else in mind as their way of taking objectives.
How can EG approach this now? I mean, it's kind of looking like the storyboard's coming together here for LGD.
Gyrocopter. Gyro is great against Tide. I mean, I talked about the OD. I think Gyro it looks a little more appealing when you're against Tide Visage. And is a really strong kind of mid-game fighting hero. But I think the reason LGD aren't afraid of it and not banning it is because like Gyro Lina is not like the super scariest late game. Like, they've been putting RTZ more on these true carries when they have the Lina, like the Terrorblade, the Morphling, unless they're going for the push with the Drow. So I think LGD recognize that EG don't like having Sumail Lina with like a tempo controlling carry like Gyro. They rather have a hard carry.
Interesting, or maybe not, the LD completely ignored up to this point. Is that surprising at all, or do you think it's just not going to fit the bill here for either team?
For LGD don't play Lone Druid. It's just not been something they opt for. For EG, it seems like a low priority pick for them.
Okay, Koka coming out. I've seen this a couple of times. So picked up going against something like an Earth Spirit. It's great to have the boat, don't get me wrong. Great team fight potential there. Could be a great response tactic or even preemptive maneuver before a Ravage, let's say, or Magnetize comes out. You can totally mitigate a lot of that damage. Prevents Earth Spirit's escape mechanism with the good use of the X. We already know the utility, being able to send your ally, back to base and pull him right back in. So lots of options there.
Yes, with the Kunkka pick, it looks more like the Earthshaker for Universe in the off lane.
Well, this man has hit $6 million Echo Slams before, so I'm sure he could play the hero pretty damn well.
Or it actually could be an Arteezy Venge, but that seems... I mean, we talked about Arteezy playing more of a carry a late game oriented hero when you have the Lina pick. That's definitely not Venge.
Yeah, unless you're really deciding to ramp it up and not even risk pushing it into the depths of the late game where someone like Sylar really begins to thrive. But it also could be a preemptive measure for the Lycan, a typical race car hero, and could be able to get the X to pull him back from being able to race away from trouble. We'll see, though, if LGD do take the bite and go for something like that, or could always hold off. They also need to get the mid lane grab, and it looks like they will be the ones to grab up the gyrocopter here.
They've done at least 2 games of gyro mid, though, so this is not set in stone to be the safe lane Sylar hero, although it's a hero which doesn't fare amazingly well against Lina mid because of Lina's long range, but that's where Earth Spirit has to help out a lot. You hit the rolling boulder, it allows Gyro to run in and get the rocket barrage off, but I think with the Lina and the Earthshaker support, it's more likely to be a standard safe lane Gyro, and they get some kind of a mid carry for maybe with the Gyro. You can't just play Gyro as your only carry. OD banned out, TA still comes to mind as something that can dish out some pretty good physical damage. SF has not seen really any play, but it's such a good hero for maybe, and for a draft like this, that it's something you might even consider.
Wasn't it also LGD? Didn't they pull out the Queen of Pain earlier?
Yep.
Or, yeah.
Yep. Queen's a good option here too. No, I mean, there's a lot of control for Queen with the Kunkka, the Shaker, the Venge. All 4 of these heroes have ways of locking down the Queen. Venge slightly less so, but the other 3 are really good against Queen, I feel.
All right, well, it is going to be EG, though, with the next pick and wagering up the precious RTZ carry grab here. Spectre, Luna, Morphling. They played their own Lycan.
Morph isn't, like, laning stage-wise is so verse Tide. Tide can kind of get up in your face a bit with the Anchor Smash if you don't have supports there helping you out, and then it's like a Venge support who's also fairly short range, but Morph is a good pick in general. No, it'll be Morph.
All right. There you have it. Morphling grab does secure a bit of an insurance poly for the late game.
Does that change what you consider from mid?
I don't think so. Unless you're thinking about
the
being more
Quap
proactive.
gets a little more appealing because of the like the silence being a good answer to the morph. You want some burst damage. Well, I guess you've got Earth Spirit silence, but you need to be able to burst him down during that silence. So what kind of hero provides that? And TA, I suppose, does. But
10 seconds.
I still really like SF here. Just it's like a staple LGD pick here.
Yeah, SF really did fall off the wagon as far as the meta goes.
10 seconds.
Used to be an instant go-to, especially on the Radiant side, but times have changed, and
so they will go for the...
It's a mid-lane gyrocopter, it looks like, and the
do it again.
Sylar like it to go along with the Visage here. It's feeling like LGD get a pretty comfortable draft, or at least something they have been pretty damn familiar with, plus the luxurious Earth Spirit who seems to never lose a game. Can't help but feel like LGD might have an upper hand in the draft.
Yeah.
Unless you think otherwise.
I think it's not the easiest to execute, but they picked the Lycan in order to try and punish the slight greed and the slightly greedy Morphling pick. It's a hero that takes longer to come online, and with Visage, Tide, Lycan kind of heroes, you can push towers and apply pressure fairly early on in the game. But the one big if to me is this mid lane. How is the Gyrocopter going to do against Lina? It's not going to be a straight up 1v1. It's going to be the Shaker and the MMY. Sorry, well, the Shaker less so, but the Kunkka, the Earth Spirit kind of posing their influence over the lane as well. So how MMY does is going to probably dictate a lot of the outcome of this game.
Yeah, and how EG are going to be able to deal with the laning stage against the Lycan if they also need to kind of address the mid lane in any sort of sense. It's like we'll have a early TP from DDC to drop down the ward as the good luck have funs come out, folks. Here we go. Our last best of 3 for today. Lower bracket semifinal matchup. LGD taking on EG here. Winner to move on and face OG in the lower bracket final. Loser, well, their MDL journey does conclude. You're all awful.
You can take the team out of NA, but you can't take the NA dirt out of EG.
Certainly not. Well, we will start with a little bit of a pause, I assume, here, but minor lane development. No surprise to see Tide hustling his way up there, so nothing too mischievous, it would seem, coming out from their front. Like, what do you think they're going to do on the side of EG? Are they going to just let Sumail fend for himself, or is it more on like PPD/Fear to get there? I mean, I figure PPD would have a better time at least dealing with the Lycan in the lane, safe lane, and then Fear could try to do something about it, but for either of them, it feels like you're going to be leaving one lane a bit handicapped.
I think there's a good chance Fear is going to be lurking around, like in those trees behind the tier 1 mid tower, ready with a torrent should Earth Spirit try and roll on in.
Yeah, but that means you got to land the torrent on a rolling, somewhat elusive mid lane here.
And while running forward and just throwing rocks down.
The mind game.
It's like, I'm going to be all up in your face mid lane, Lena. Get ready.
That will be the stone that I roll through to get the first blood.
And I really like the TP ward coming out from the Visage there. It sets up for that high ground play. They scout out Fear's ward, and that's just, I've seen it a few times. I don't know if it's always been from LGD, but you can't ward like right on top of the ramp because the tower scouts it out when it's daytime, but you put it a little bit further away to the north where he planted it, and it's just undetectable by the tower vision. So gives LGD tons of information right now about what EG are doing. That's one of those things when EG go back and watch this replay, are going to be like, holy crap, this start of the game, LGD knew everything. They knew where we warded, they knew where all our heroes were positioned, and they had the high ground ward mid that the Earth Spirit benefits a lot from. It allows him to land that rolling boulder.
It looks like...
Oh, RTK, he knows. He's like, I'm not going to be giving up 3 kills in 3 minutes this game. Try and kill me while I'm in the jungle.
Straight to the mighty Talon, and straight to the jungle for your Tidehunter on this one. Looks like it will be a easy breezy Morphling lane, much similar to what we saw in our last series with CTY kind of being able to do as he pleases here. We'll see if EG will have the same benefit being able to kind of make it to the late game.
Oh, it comes out. That's on. That's great. Okay, so it brings out south, standard stuff.
All right, so I'm sure both sides are anticipating it. Where will the rolling boulder come from? Where will it land? MMY is just waiting to line up the shot, and we'll have to see if Kunkka alone will be enough to kind of defend it. Meanwhile, you can see bottom lane, DDC going to work, zoning back as the Visage. It's not forcing Universe too far away. He's still able to kind of soak in some extra XP. So not too much trouble there. And as we can see, serious jungle work coming out from your Tidehunter. But this, overall, a matchup I personally haven't been able to see a lot. Gyrocopter versus Lina. Should be an interesting one.
Yeah, and, I mean, on straight up 1v1, Lena's going to win that lane, hands down, but it gets a bit more interesting because of the Earth Spirit. But he's going to poke his nose down towards his bottom lane. They've dropped 1 sentry, didn't find anything, but it just gives LGD that assurance that there's no ward nearby. They've also blocked the big camp, which prevents any shenanigans from the Earthshaker, where you can like fissure to draw aggro and channel your wave onto it to secure yourself experience. So they're going to be looking for either kills in the mid lane or the off lane Earthshaker of EG using this Earth Spirit, and that's where it's hard for EG to know where they kind of need to keep tabs of the Earth Spirit, but they kind of both mid and off lane playing ultra defensively.
Yeah, and you know, for Fear that means that he's just kind of on standby. And unfortunately, the XP he gets is kind of being leached a bit from the mid lane, but he's going to be going on stacking duty all the meanwhile to make the most out of his time. But look at this, maybe 2 points into homing missile. Is this the traditional mid lane gyrocopter build, just kind of the zoning back rocket so you can kind of...
Against Lina, yes. Against a lot of heroes,
Uh-oh.
no.
Here it comes. Boom! How you doing there, ma'am? My name's MMY, and I told you I was going to get you with that first blood, and he does it.
What a player.
Eventually they strike, and Fear, unfortunately, was not close enough to assist. And really, I mean, you're not going to see that one kind of coming here.
Has boots, another 400 gold. That's a huge start for him, and he gets level 2.5, so very good start for LGD.
Yep. And this means he could also take his business elsewhere now, as he's probably going to be getting back to work right away. And for everything else, steady as she comes here. LGK, like, you know, flirting on the edge of his life to kind of build up the farm here. Some farm is better than no farm, which is what the position he would have been in if he went to this off lane. But we notice that PPD is, you know, still going to be hanging out that lane, making sure he keeps the creep equilibrium by the tower, not allowing it to push forward, so that if anyone wanted to kind of reside in the lane, they wouldn't be getting anything, as opposed to maybe going out and adding some extra assistance for Sumail in the mid lane or setting any other gank potential up. But look at this.
Yeah, wants to... Oh, he loses control.
Did they do a... Oh, they did a single stack, and they're going to pull the wave away and just push the tower? Is that what's happening here? Doesn't look like it.
It looked like they did want to push the tower. They get an early point in the Vengora, but RTK sees this, and it's right after he suicides, so it's good timing for him to actually come to lane and defend the tower. He's full HP, full mana, has boots, as well as Magic Stick.
Oh, gets a Diagro, and Arteezy commits in, but he is level 3 now.
Just trying to zone him out, but
Yeah.
RTK's already done a good job keeping that tower from taking damage early on here.
The Rockets' homing missiles continue to fly, and gets another one of those off. You know, MMY is going to be on the prowl once more. It looks like he already is. He's in the neighborhood. First Nightfall means that he could be a bit more sneaky.
Looping around. Shaker unlikely to expect a play like this.
Him and Visage both looking to sneak in from behind. DDC provides the vision, and there is the kick. He gets the early point into the silence as well, and they'll get the kill. All right, nicely done. Plus the Howl, of course, is going to add all the extra right-click power. And
I mean, all of that's just set up from getting a first blood. If not for having that first blood, he wouldn't be level 3 by now, and he wouldn't be just freed up to roam like that. So, fantastic start for LGD as far as mid lane and bottom lane is concerned. Lina's still winning the CS battle against Jaro, but kind of what you'd expect out of this mid lane. And Lina, having died, giving out the first blood, just kind of negates some of that advantage.
Sylar still winning the CS, even though that Arteezy had the free lane, and he had the lane that had minor contention maybe with the Earth Spirit. Now that the Earth Shaker, now that the Earth Shaker has a Soul Ring, Universe can at least create a bit of space for himself and snipe some creep farm with the fissures and mild harassment. ROTK, back to the grind we go here for this Tide Hunter here. So LGD pretty damn content with the laning stage so far.
He stopped leveling up the homing missile, got 2 in the rocket barrage, wanting to at least guarantee that he has
another roll, another connection straight to the silence. The follow-up is going to be the boulder toss, and Fear as the counter defensive mechanism is not going to work out too well. He will be able to get the trade, taking down MMY.
Oh, he sees PPD coming in, so he gets the movement to the south to keep himself safe.
But it is going to be Sumail in exchange for the Earth Spirit, a trade that LGD going to be happy with.
That ward has given LGD so much value this game.
Definitely something EG are going to look back through the replay and kind of take note of, I'm sure, in the future.
Yeah. And Jaro with a rune gets a haste. Sounds pretty damn good if you can find this Earthshaker at bottom, who has not had a ward down here to protect him for this game. They see him with a lane ward there. They're going at bottom as well as at top.
Simultaneous action here. Magic Missile, waveform forward. RTK, though, pretty damn big. I don't think they're going to be able to get him. They did take down Universe at the bottom lane with that haste rune.
RTK shows you juke skills.
And no. Too big, too slow. Can't make it away from the waveform, it looks like.
Poor Watermelon. But 1-for-1 trade, the offlaners both go down. Perhaps, well, definitely a bigger kill. The Tide is 24 CS to the Shaker, who's got like less than 10, so Shaker much lower on net worth than the Tide.
And look at this, a quick tier 1 is in order for LGD.
And that's where Tide's kind of going up there. He dies once in the first 7 to 8 minutes. Doesn't matter too much because he's kept that tower alive. He's prevented EG from getting any early pressure on and made their just ability to take over the LGD side of the map and get map control that little bit harder.
Oh, deep ward there. And as we saw, the other one being taken down in the mid lane, so LGD kind of have the vision advantage from at least the mid to lower part of the map right now. Free to keep MMY in the dark and EG guessing as far as approach is going to be. Fear continues to be on a mid lane defensive duty, it looks like here, in arms with Sumail. But eventually he'll be able to string out together the levels. And what do you think about the, potential the kill potential here with once this Kunkka does get a couple levels and you have a reliable X Torrent combo?
Very good with the Lina. If you can get up to even just level 5, the X at level 3 gets pretty decent range. The X Torrent into a Lina combo gonna lead into a lot of playmaking capabilities. Lycan trying to get a very fast medallion, just going for the farming item, hasn't even opted for boots at all. And shapeshift.
They're baiting in the rune grab from Sumail, but MMY kind of shows himself. It's going to be a kick miss right there, going for Sumail, but the roll does connect.
So good.
And with the silence, he is going to be, unfortunately, not able to get anything off. Sylar is going to help follow through with it. MMY will get the last hit. Sumail.
Man, that's the second time today I've seen Sylar make that play in the early game. Use the shapeshift for a rune fight around the 8 to 10 minute mark. He did it in the game earlier today when LD was casting, and it's just really heads-up play that he recognizes he can find an opening to get a kill like that. And helps out a lot for a mid player like Sumail, who's kind of known for wanting to have a good start to get like himself and his team rolling. And you've got RTZ free farming when Sumail's having a bad game. You don't have that player who can create space. Universe, he's on a shaker who's not farming well. Same thing. There isn't really a space creator other than perhaps Fear when he gets level 5. Well, he's level 5 now. Level 6 it gets even scarier with the boat, but it really feels there's a lot of pressure on Fear to get stuff done around the map.
That one kill will allow him to get those quick arcane boots here, and as MY does move in, quick X-Torrent combo, and well, it looks like they're going to be able to bring the Earth Spirit down, but look at the response. ROTK commits the Ravage, a follow from Maybe as he rotates in with a big call down now, and he's going to make a move for Arteezy. Arteezy sidesteps away from the Torrent, so it's not going to connect, but he's able to get the waveform off, bottle up a bit, and Fear will be able to help out with the X. So it turns into a 1-for-1, a support for a support. Could have gone a lot worse for EG, and this comes after a double ult commitment from LGD. Yeah.
Just the support, and LGD were trying to kill the morph there, and then suddenly there was already 2 heroes in position to counterplay it. It was funny because EG's going for the kill on LGD while LGD's got up there to kill the morph, and it was the one time this game where morph wasn't really alone up there, and EG were just ready to counterplay it.
As we see the Visage picking up the Medallion of Courage right now, opens up Roche potential for LGD.
Yeah, and really nice thing about the Lycan is you can fall back, do your Ancients, do the jungle, and give the lane to a teammate like Visage. But for now, bottom lane being left fairly empty. Visage already level 6 has the birds, and they're going to then prioritize the other hero who's not level 6 yet, the Earth Spirit. So MMY has been creating so much space for his team, he now gets a free lane to farm.
Got to get that magnetized. Oh, look at this. ROTK, well, his juking skills work. He's able to sidestep the Torrent here, but Arteezy's still going to be on the hunt. Visage birds en route, but the waveform will connect, and then he quickly replicates the hell out of there. Sylar, who had committed the waveform, it looks like, or wolf form, is going to be not able to grab any sort of kill. Fear made it out.
Great start for Arteezy, and considering like the other lane's not going well, it's really going to become a 4-protect-1 type game where Arteezy is going to be the carry that has to put a lot of weight on his shoulders when things aren't going well. But Morphling is that kind of hero that can do that, so you're not in Trouble Town yet if you're EG. But LGD start upping the aggression, taking towers one by one, securing Roshan with the Medallion Lycan. That's when Morph's not going to be ready to fight for a bit of time here.
Yeah, Magnetize will be on. It's already online right now. They're looking to go for him. He gets the nice silence onto Arteezy, but the Torrent will connect with the boat, and the waveform is plenty of nuking power to take down the Earth Spirit. Good catch, good gank. Great setup from Senior Fear.
And Shaker managing to put together just some Tranquil Soul Rings, so has his bare basics and getting levels as well, so up to level 6.
This should be a good peaking window, though, for LGD. Now that Magnetize is on, they can close out these Tier 1s, makes things a lot easier for a Roche in the near future. And then it's on the up and up for LGD with the draft they've thrown together. It looks like MMY already getting ready to put that Magnetize to work. He's got to earn. It's time to put some charges on it.
And prioritizing points in the stun, which is pretty standard for Earth Spirit, but sometimes you might consider more in silence against a hero like Morphling because you want the longer duration silence. But I think for LGD, they're all about taking towers, taking objectives, and they're not going to be putting much emphasis on killing the Morphling. Now that they've failed to kill him once and he's farmed enough and got enough levels that he's at a point where he's just too tricky to gank, they're going to value other objectives. So they're saying, Morphling, you free farm, we're going to take towers, we're going to fight the rest of your team, and the stun build is better for that on Earth Spirit.
EG had some pressure towards the mid lane, but it looks like they're going to make a rotation and use the rest of the smoke to maybe go on the prowl and catch on any jungling LGD members, but no one in the neighborhood except for a smoked up Gyro in the mid lane. If they catch EG on the way out, they might do something about it here, but there's a lot of boys in blue here.
Lycan's flanking with an ultimate potential.
Is he rotating through? Oh, Arteezy heads out. Oh, the stun.
This is a very dangerous tower to defend for EG. A flanking Lycan, there's no Morphling as a replicate. So actually Morphling can come in. This could be a key fight for EG to turn around with the Morphling replicate.
Boat's going to be online, ready to go. Universe is going to have his Echo.
It comes down to Fear to start the fight, otherwise they don't want to go for it. And I believe replicate has maybe expired by now. Yeah, he's no longer got that up.
Casual Torrent here to slow him down, along with the Fissure. Just as much outspam as they can. Looks like Boulder Smash is going to be a bit of a miss, and without anything catching, EG are going to have to forfeit the tower and quickly LGD scavenge for any sort of anyone trailing behind, but it looks like they won't get that. But that waypoint is now taken away. Makes it a bit more difficult for EG to contest any sort of future Roche move. LGD just kind of going down the checklist here.
Looked like LGD considered heading towards Roche after they took that tower when they all ran down there, but would have come at a trade for a tier 1 top tower. EG could have also tried to contest it. They haven't got the mech yet on Tide, so they're not quite at the stage where they want to make that risky move into Roshan.
That's a great ward by PPD, by the way. That will show LGD they're gathering around for the Rocher, preparing for it. And a swap after the shapeshift here. Magic Missile will connect. Sumail's got the Laguna. Is it enough to finish him up before he races the hell out of there? Yes! Oh!
Every single right click needed for that
one. Calculated, right? That is just down to the wire. They'll get it done. These wolves are really being a pain in the butt. Can't send those bottles, though, but they'll try to clear them out.
He's trying to like juke out all the
Get these wolves out of here.
So I'll just TP himself in.
All the meanwhile,
with the X, that's always a cool little trick.
I love that. I love that they made the change where he hasn't maxed out, but even at level 1, it's the full duration for a teammate. You can do that right at the start. And now top lane, who maybe had been hustling down this tower a bit.
Not someone they can kill. They're just poking and prodding, but even he doesn't kill the missile.
If you're going straight for the mech after getting the arcanes here, no early Aether Lens. There's the X, Torrent, Boat, all going to connect here, but no additional follow-up, it looks like, as MMY does make his appearance here.
Morph got kind of cold feet about going in there, but he was low mana HP. He was just waving in to just scout what was going on and wasn't really looking to fight. But now they find themselves without the boat for this top lane defense, but Lycan not in the neighborhood, so I don't see LGD really looking to hard commit here.
Yeah, even though they do have Magnetize and Ravage ready to go, it doesn't seem like the right opportunity here for LGD. But
Siler, this is the first time I've seen him go for a BKB rush. Oh, smoke back. Normally it's, the Necro Book is just such a standard item pickup for Lycan. The pushing power this item gives you, or we've seen Siler do a lot of medallion builds for the Roche, but really looking to...
So what is it? Is it just the fact that he's hoping to get the most out of it before Sumail gets a, like an Ags and
there's so much
all the
control and stuns and nukes on EG side. Even just like the Expo, like you kind of talked about how Kunkka's really good against the Lycan, and I feel that's a big deal as to where you want to rush the BKB. If you're going to get caught by an X, that sets up the Bo Torrent, and it doesn't matter if you're shapeshifted, you're dead.
Oh, kick, but he pulled the stone a bit too fast. It might have still been able to hit if it kept going forward, but it's not going to be there now. He doesn't have the kick to cancel that, and the birds were just a bit too slow. EG, nice job avoiding a potential gank attempt from LGD, and the mid lane's been opened up so Arteezy can make a move at it, but now the TPs are going to be coming out. There's an early homing missile, but he's got the replicate here. Wave forward, and whew, he's out of there.
Couldn't fully commit, but not a big deal. EG are avoiding the ganks, and this is at the stage of the game where LGD is much stronger. They've got the team fight of the Earth Spirit plus Tide, the Ravage Magnetize. They've got the mech advantage. They've got Gyrocopter. EG just want to keep playing keep away, and they've done such a great job of doing that so far. They're going to have a mech of their own soon. They're going to have Lincolns on Morph. Then they get a bit more team fight ready if they can use that Kunkka to initiate well.
Yeah, this is looking at one of those games. It's going to come down to some serious execution. There's so much on the setup potential. I'd have to say it's a bit more favored for LGD, especially will be when they get a Blink Dagger on this Tide, but for now, though, they have the benefit of the Earth Spirit.
Well, they walk in past a ward. This is gutsy.
What can EG do about it here? They have a lot to be able to spam in. They have the Wave for the Vision, Universe, no Blink, though, but they got the Torrent, they got the Boat. BKB going to be triggered here from Maybe, and LGD are looking for a fight. They found Sumail. They're commit the call down. He's going to be able to get the Yules off to avoid some of the call down damage, but I think that's all he's going to be able to avoid. He gets the Laguna on for the Visage, but they have plenty of damage to be able to finish off little Lina. And now LGD will move back into the pit to finish off what they'd started.
The mech and the BKB advantage is proven to be too much there, and
snipe with a fissure? Oh.
They're still just chipping away. This long-range harass is very annoying, but...
The mid lane's being pushed by Morphling pretty good here.
Yeah, the tier 1 was already taken / denied, but Arteezy doing what he can elsewhere on the map. And that was just the one BKB. There's going to be Lycan BKB coming up soon as well, so they'll have double BKB, and it seems the game plan for LGD is to... When you're rushing BKBs on both your carry and your mid, you have to take advantage of the fact that you've got this small timing window where you've got BKBs.
Yeah.
And these are items which aren't going to help you farm, aren't going to help you. They're good late game items, but when you get them early, you're going to have 5-second BKBs in the late game. So they've got to get a lot done with this double BKB of theirs.
Yeah. So anticipate a movement towards tier 2s to happen in the near future, and we'll have to see what EG are going to be preparing for that. They get a nice grab, a Blink Dagger here, which pretty much says we have great high ground defense at this point.
I feel like EG's lineup is really good at baiting out the BKBs to be used early as well, or quite poorly. Like you throw an X on someone, and then you want to just torrent boat. Even if you don't commit, you just throw a torrent in a boat, that could force out a BKB, and then you just don't fight.
And the cooldowns are so short, it's like, it's fine, I'll have it for the next fight.
Same for a Lina Yules. You Lina Yules someone, and the threat of that Lina combo may be enough to force out the BKB, and as long as EG don't commit too hard, their game plan over the next 5-10 minutes is just going to be try and defend towers by forcing out the BKBs. If they commit the BKBs, you maybe just let a T2 tower go down, considering that LGD also have an Aegis, but all in all, EG are going to be playing this kind of game of cat and mouse where they poke and prod, they back off when they need to, and rinse repeat.
Top lane, they're making a move for Sylar with the setup. He gets the BKB popped. He's looking to make a race. Can he make it out and away from trouble? And it looks like he will. But at the back end of this, look who's swinging in from behind. LGD coming in with the smoke, but
He's got the replica to
yeah,
escape.
he already has the way out. And
3 seconds.
Fear had already evacuated the premises, so there's going to be no catch for LGD on the smoke move.
Well, that's 10-second BKB down, and that's like the game plan for EG.
Yep.
Split push with the Morph, keep his farm going, and force out BKBs where you can. Really nicely played. And again, it's like he doesn't want to use the BKB when he gets X there, but Fear just forces him to do it by committing the torrent and then the boat as well. If he doesn't BKB, that boat damage would have killed him off.
Oh, yeah. And here's LGD now, coming back to knock at this top lane a bit with MMY on the side, but
really
EG
feels like they're in a timer. They've got no farm secured for the late game. They're not going home the Dominator or any kind of farming item with Gyrocopter. Like in similar story, you're rushing a BKB. You're not looking to go into the late game, so LGD they are really under pressure now.
EG will try their best to at least split the pressure a bit as they head towards the bottom lane here. A trade of tier 2s, so at least EG will be able to get something out of it. While LGD do continue to move forward, so will help Lina advance on forward.
I'm setting up for a fight here.
Okay, look at this. A response from LGD. They begin rotating in after taking the tower now. Maybe he's quick with the homing missile. Arteezy back to work on that mid tier 2. It looks like he might be able to get the finish unless Sylar quickly denies it. Him and the Wolves. It looks like they'll be able to get the grab. 2 denies now for LGD in a row on that mid lane. And it looks like EG did have to pull off. Obviously does stop the pressure towards the top lane a bit, but
still seems to me like a huge win for EG. They don't really care about the tower denies. It's just forcing LGD back, buying time for the Aegis to expire, and just
buying time for Morphling.
Yeah, you know you're farming more than them. Morphling continuing to outfarm the Lycan. Lina needs a bit more time. Like, just picked up the Aether Lens, and we'll be looking for more, like the Ag Scepter on top of this, I imagine, as the next item to help dish out damage through the BKBs. And that Ag's Laguna Blade with Aether Lens does a ton of damage, and Gyro Lycan won't be able to hold their ground up against the Ag Scepter too well, I feel.
Here comes LGD. They're kind of go for their next tier 2 tower right now.
This is much better because there's no lanes being split.
Oh, nice catch out here with the help of the vision from the birds. MMY will get the interception. And yeah, that ward will spot out PPD on the move. Just a casual, vengeful spirit, but
really feels like LGD need a Rax at latest with the next Roshan, and possibly even before that they need to win a big fight or get something done.
4K gold already in reserve for Arteezy, man.
And talked about how easy it is already for them to force out BKBs. E-Blade Morphling, one of the best ways to force out a early BKB. You can just throw that shotgun at someone and suddenly it's premature BKB, possibly outside of your base, and then you've saved yourself from a high ground push coming.
I'm sure like the ideal game plan there for LGD would have been able to get at least one of those picks with those smokes, help secure OTK that Blink Dagger a bit sooner, and then been able to make use of the back end of that Aegis, but timings are going to be all a bit off here, and as you said, they might have to just wait for round 2 in the second Aegis, and if they don't reach a quota of being able to get in the base and get a Rax, then by that point it's going to be EG's game.
They've managed to get down 3 really nice deep wards, which is definitely something which is going to go a long way for them. Going into the next Aegis, having that vision to try and find pickoffs, to also just try and secure them the next Roshan, but also to protect themselves from these kind of gank squads that EG keeps sending out these little squads to try and find pickoffs. And
okay, Good jump in. That's the Blink debut from ROTK, and then MMY will be there to follow up. Again, it's for the Vengeful Spirit, and she's making him work for it. She gets sniped from DDC, and that'll be another grab.
Going for Axe, not Solar Crest. I mean, Solar Crest against the E-Blade Morph, not really a...
More pushing power, extra bird.
It's all magic damage, nukes coming out from EG. This is a game for BKBs and tanking up. So the Ag Scepter for Visage, like you say, more pushing power, more stats, more survivability. And Visage likely here that isn't going to be a top focus priority for EG. He's going to be sitting back, throwing nukes like crazy. And as long as he doesn't position himself such that he gets caught in that torrent boat, which is going to be headed towards like the front lines, the Lycan, the Gyro, the Tide, even Earth Spirits in the front. Visage is in like, this is like a dream Visage game because you're the only one sitting back and you're going to likely be ignored because of that.
We see now maybe able to finish up the SMY at the same response as the Ethblade here of Arteezy. And one more outer tower does stand. LGD seem to already be approaching it here. EG obviously anticipating this. We'll see what they do. As a response, Universe still has yet to debut that big Blink Echo here.
And LGD showing a lot of respect to the missing EG heroes from the map. And gonna fall back, smoke up, and try and find a catch here.
Remember, with their vision and those very deep wards, they can see the lane rotations from EG here.
And it's the Earth Spirit Silence, which could lead to potential kills on Morphling if they go into the enemy jungle, but perhaps going for the more straightforward play, and that's going to be swinging back around on this bottom.
All the way up and around, leading with the Wolves first. And unfortunately, might be. Oh, they can see Sumail. They would love to go for both. The Ravage, nicely dodged from Sumail, but the follow-up will be MMY with a good stun and the Silence, so Sylar pursues, and will they get Little Red Riding Hood? They will. The Fissure is not going to be enough to stop him from getting that one last chomp, and two of them will be going down. Pull back, though, onto Maybe and the Torrent. Ethblade. Oh, the waveform not going to be there, and Gyro will be fine.
Very late BKB, but I think he was just like hoping that he wasn't going to go for the Torrent combo, and maybe he'll get healed up, but had to commit the BKB. And also, they didn't know about... Oh, actually, they did know about the Ethereal Blade. They had the ward in the enemy jungle, so that should have been an item that was spotted.
Did LGD really get a lot out of that, though? They didn't even finish off the tier 2. They took Sumail down, which is great, and they got some extra money for Lycan to get a Deso, so they're really all in with this siege right now.
This is the period of the game where LGD is not as strong because they don't have Aegis advantage, so I think a Ravage used to get 2 hero kills is it's really good for LGD. And Sumail's item progression into Ag Scepter is a very important item because of how much LGD are playing around BKBs this game.
Interesting 4-staff grab. That means that they really value this kind of utility.
Yeah.
That is not a normal cookie cutter or spear pickup unless you feel like you need the extra defensive push.
Would love a catch into a Roshan. Would be like the dream scenario. RTK, please.
He's got a TP. Oh, gets smacked right as he pops the TP, it looks like. And, well, he will be able to blink away before the Dragon Slave, but they catch the X, which pulls him right back in. And the bow comes through. Boom! Tidehunter goes down. Good solo pick for EG means that LGD will be out with a Ravage for at least 40 seconds here. And now they can...
It matches up the cooldown. It's perfect, you know? RTA is like, guys, it's space. I tank the Smoke King, my Ravage is on cooldown, I'll respawn, I have it.
Yeah, but look at EG now. They just rummage through LGD woods, and LD's like, PBD's like, I got a ward in my pocket, and I'm planning on going deep with this.
Not bad. I think it's still good for LGD. The main thing is that Roshan isn't up right now, so EG can't snipe that away from them. And it's going to be, like, LGD get much more out of having the deep wards and finding the pickoffs, but... It's coming up now. So Sumail goes for Ghost Scepter, so deciding that the jump to the Axe is going to be a bit too much considering how fragile he is.
Definitely feeling like it's all on Arteezy then at that point.
This is very close to an Axe as well, and even the Gyro, no farming items, is still progressing very well in terms of items here. There's another 2.4k after the BKB SMY.
They've been continuing to grind the top lane, or the whole jungle of EG, and keeping the pressure in the top lane. It will force EG all the way back up to kind of deal with both mid and top, and during that period of time, LGD will probably consider it an advancement towards the Roche pit. It's all about precious windows of time, especially for LGD.
And LGD are, I think, slowing it down a little bit. They want to finish off the Visage Accept, which he's one component away from, although he just resummoned his bird, so he's going to have to wait for 2 minutes to get the triple birds. And they're trying to push forward. They clear out the Observer Ward that LGD had in their jungle, and EG, that EG had in their jungle. EG are just not going to be able to get much of a vision control over the map, considering there's a gem on Visage, and contesting this next Roche is very difficult unless they make some big kind of ballsy smoke play, which is definitely a possibility when you've got their kind of team fight. The Blink Shaker, the boat, the Morphling E-Blade.
Saw the bird.
Scouting is just so good for this LGD draft. When you've got the gem advantage, you've got wolves, you've got familiars.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Lots of critters out there to do your bidding and give you that extra bit of intel here. Those deep wards have expired now, or at least been denied, so LGD are going to be doing this a bit in the dark.
But Hal kind of reveals what's going on. But EG
they have forfeited it. They know. I mean, they do have a solid high ground defense, serious magical damage ban, blinking echo, boat, potential swap back into trouble here.
There's an arcane rune on Gyro for this next fight, which I'd say it's a pretty big deal. Shorter cooldown on all your spells, like you're more likely to get off like a second flak quicker.
Yep.
Your cooldown's already got a pretty short cooldown. Rocket Barrage is like next to no cooldown at that point. All your spells cost less mana, which is less. He's full mana anyways, but the cooldown reduction is going to be potentially very potent in this fight.
If this game goes according to plan for LGD, they'll be able to at least walk away with a set of racks with this Aegis here. If not, just take the game flat out. Let's see what they could do about it now. They're already ascending into the high ground here from EG, waiting their response. Start with an early fissure. They do get a nuking combo, and then maybe we'll force him back.
He pump faked that fissure so many times. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss it. Oh, I'm gonna miss it." And then he ends up missing it. If he hits the fissure, you blow him up there, like with the E-Blade plus the E-Blade combo there.
See, there you're talking about it. Forced out the BKB.
Their lineup makes it so difficult to push in and use your BKBs efficiently.
It's a fortress, man. Do you think they might actually need to get like a pick off or take a fight outside of the EG base before making it happen?
I think they desperately need a pick off, or they need to be in a position where they can just do absurd amount of damage in their BKBs.
He BKB too. These are just so easy to force out.
He knows that if he gets hit by the Torrent Boat and Morphling's there with the E-Blade combo, he dies. That's the scary thing. Anytime you get X, you have to BKB on LGD's side, unless you know where Morphling, Lina are on the map. Either of those heroes with Kunkka can kill anyone. So they have to maximize their damage output in these BKBs, which is going to be like the AC for the Lycan. He's hiding in these trees here. Nice little...
Fear has been really living up to his name with the skunk of imposing his own will onto LGD, forcing him to play extra cautious and defensively here. I mean, we're not seeing any more MMY Earth Spirit big plays, no magnetizes. EG have been doing so good playing the slow game and being so disciplined, not allowing anything extra here for LGD. No awkward team fight that they're not going to be prepared for. An occasional pick on the PPD, but nothing too serious here. As the clock ticks here, EG's confidence gets built up bit by bit.
This lead is just not the story of the game right now. It's LGD have all these items, all this farm, a farm advantage, but they can't use that farm. These BKBs are just constantly being rendered kind of useless in a lot of these fights, or get forced out so early that you don't have them to push with. You don't have them to take a team fight with. And for EG, they're just getting so much more out of what farm they have. And just their hero composition just causing all kinds of issues.
Are LGD going to have the time to make another move while they still have the Sages? It's as we see now, 2 minutes left. It looks like they're going to.
They're looking for the pickoff into push. Bottom lane's being pushed out by the Familiars, which is a nice move. You push out a lane with it. You've got to make sure one lane's in position to go for the high ground. It looks like mid lane also going to be in that position.
Oh, they're heading up there while EG are still in their jungle. It looks like they might be able to get the catch, but again, it's only for BPD.
There's a gem, but
swing and a miss. Does get the silence. Roll's going to be short. BPD's like, I'm creating the space, but
that's not the pickoff they wanted, even though it is a gem. I feel they'd much rather have gotten a Lina, a Kunkka. Killing the Kunkka is the big deal here. This freaking Kunkka is the most annoying thing ever. But we'll see. X get used. Does he? Okay, it's going to hold on.
That one's a little too far. I guess you'd wager that you're not going to go out that far. But
it's also the fact that he's got the Aegis. You'd rather try and combo the Lycan
quick,
down.
X is Oh, never mind. I was going to say it's on cooldown, but he's already got it up. But look at this MMY making his move, trying to get a hold of their big high ground defender. It's going to be Universe. They smack him with the urn so he can't even blink or reapproach. Arteezy makes his move in, tries to get the jump, but RTK with his last dying breath gets the Ravage off, which allows Sylar to go to work, and they get the kill on Arteezy. He might be forced to already buy back. Sumail commits out the the Laguna onto the Lycan, but it's not enough to finish him off. Tier 3 goes down.
And Earth Spirit and get their gem back, but pretty good push from LGD, and depending on what happens from here, the Familiar Stuns will look to cover their retreat, but I think all in all, taking the T3 tower, killing off Arteezy there.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's decent for them.
I think a Rax would have been like the perfect situation, but they will have to...
Well, that was exactly, kind of asked, like, are they going to get the chance to get a Rax with this Aegis? And it's a Tier 3 tower and a Morphling kill. So, not quite the result they're after, but decent. Next time, though, Sumail's going to have a Aghanim Scepter, which is a very problematic item for them.
There will be more items for LGD on the next go, as we saw Sylar was able to finish off his AC, and now a Butterfly even in order for Gyro is actually a nice grab for him.
And Sylar's itemizing purely to be like that single target right-click carry who can break buildings and also kill heroes. Like, he chased after Shaker to guarantee that ES kill so that Universe couldn't make any big plays in that fight, so I want to get as much done as possible in that BKB window.
Smoke here for MMY, but LGD, I wager, might be waiting out a bit for that next Roche. A bit too sketchy to kind of make those high ground pushes without having the benefit of the extra life. Unless some sort of gracious opportunity does come across their lap. We'll have to see. Back to the grind for EG2, though. A Yasha in order for Morphling, so suspect a Manta to be coming here soon. It gets bigger and bigger. As the Agi does stack up, his strength already down to 5 only.
And EG going on the aggressive here. While the Aegis is down and all these BKBs just have to be looking at 5-second BKBs on the LGD side, I can only imagine.
Ravage should be back up by now, right? I feel like it's been quiet long enough, so they will have almost. LGD will be in fighting shape for their own defense.
So 2 6-second BKBs, effectively they're at, you use them anytime you get X'd if you feel slightly not at ease.
Alright, well EG did kind of move forward, hoping to catch maybe some LGD stragglers who are farming up for the next Roche go, but LGD do play pretty good defensive and hide out inside their base.
Yeah, it's just the scouting factor for EG. They have to move around the map as 5, and LGD can just use these wolves to keep on finding where EG are. Even though both teams are playing pretty dark as far as wards go because of the gems on both sides, LGD can always use wolves to scout, and the familiars less to scout and more just to push a lane out safely because you're not committing a hero, putting them in jeopardy. EG aren't going to go gank familiars. They may kill them if they just happen to be there and you're like a Morphling trying to counter push the lane, but having a way to push out lanes safely and also scout the map gives LGD a nice tool in the late game. But it is EG who have the kind of teamfight advantage because they've got the better catch. They've got this great ability to force out BKBs. And
oh, kick is a miss. So it will be the silence, but it's just Arteezy moving in there and getting a good shove on the gyrocopter.
Yeah, and he's got BKB to go with the Lincoln, so even when he gets silence, he can BKB out of it. If you want to try and bring him down, it's going to take a lot of just chain stun. Ravage, familiar stuns, they almost need a Hex as well.
EG happy to get these lanes pushed out past the river. So that maybe they... I mean, do you think EG might consider any sort of plot to take the Roche themselves away from
or
LGD?
At least I haven't got much in the way. Okay, they're going to get wards up on the other side of the map, put them on cliffs, so they're a bit tricky to de-ward. But I think EG are finally in that position where contesting Roche is quite a possibility for them. They've got, depending on the buyback status, like you need probably the Lina who just picked up Axe yet to get there, but like a Morphling, you can have 2 lives on. Lina getting close to buyback. And Morphling actually just buying Manta style, but he'll quickly farm the buyback. And EG, their 5-man right now is very scary and strong.
Yeah, now it's not just Arteezy being a problem. Everyone else behind him is starting to kind of put together the items now. So LGD's window of opportunity is getting closed. So much more here. Roche is going to be coming up soon. LGD are starting to head that way. They know that this is probably the most precious Roche of the game for them so far. Getting this one, and they must be walking away with racks. They must be walking away with serious base damage with it.
That's like an insta-Roche respawn. It's one of the shortest possible. They may actually be able to get in there before EG even think to scout it out or try and contest it. They're all in the neighborhood apart from Tide, and Tide's headed that way. And I think knowing that EG's on the top side of the map, they may just try to quickly get a Roche, or they...
Look in. Oh.
They're worried about EG kind of getting onto their high ground. They can push very fast with a morph, but... Once they... Okay, so they see RTZ top with that missile. And they're back there.
Yeah, they already put
Not gonna go
Gyrocopter
for it.
there to kind of push it back out. So LGD are going to be forced back, and this is EG's time. Already TPs to the bottom lane, get that lane pushed out, and get their own vision around the pit so that they could contest if they so choose.
And seeing Morphling on the map is not security for LGD because of the replicate. So it could always be 4 EG heroes elsewhere on the map, smoked up, coming at you if you're going for Roche with a replicate with him, and then suddenly Morphling's there and you're in trouble. So LGD already, they push out top lane a bit, but they have to come back immediately and be in the vicinity of Roche.
Getting this Roche right here, right now, and
Seems
making the most out of it.
Yeah. They know EG have no wards up around this area, so they feel like they can just take it quickly, and they'll see EG coming. They've got that one high ground ward, and Smoke's a very limited resource at this stage of the game.
There it is, just as fast as it's up and they get in there, it goes right back down. It's time to the gyro.
Very, very hard to push even with Aegis and Cheese, and even getting one lane of racks is far from being a decisive lead at this point.
But they don't really have other options, unless EG give them other options by like handing over a bad fight or...
It's still possible, for, like, it's still alright for LG's Lamp going to the Super Late game. Like, Morph is 6-slotted, more or less, and not getting much scarier. And you look at LGD, they've got 4 heroes all hovering around that 10k net worth mark. Earth Spirit always a hero. The Ag Scepter, you know, it changes the game a lot. Visage can kind of transition into some scary items too.
All right,
so.
Siler says it's go time, goes in the shapeshift here. No BKB's committed yet until now. He makes his move in, trying to finish off PPD. Will be able to grab that one as RTZ starts chugging him down with the right clicks here. He's not the one with the Aegis. It's that man right there, maybe eating up the Laguna, holding onto that first life as long as possible, looking to see if he can keep it. Will be able to walk away. They avoid the torrent. X on a DDC. There's the torrent.
They're just not grouping for this Shaker.
And they'll be able to take down the Visage. ROTK commits it out, but it's only going to catch RTZ, who's in BKB, so it does nothing. Double kill for him. And MMY with a deep commitment on forward. LGD trying to make the most out of this opportunity while they still got it. Moving in, trying to chunk down the racks. It looks like they will be able to get the melee set. And they will be quickly on the retreat. But PPD catches with a nice little swap back. But oh, Universe is going to be muscled down with the help of Maybe. Arteezy gets the grab, being able to take down MMY. Now focused on the Maybe here with the help of the stun. They will finally bring down that first life, and it looks like the following life will be going down on top of it here. Yeah. So LGD, they walk away, only taking down 1 Rax. They lost their Aegis. They lost the majority of their team. Was that enough?
That's advantage EG in my mind. I think that's for EG. It's less about losing Raxes and more just about getting all these kills that they're getting. Another Aegis gets chewed through. It's going to be another big window where LGD don't have an Aegis, have to play very cautiously. Arteezy will pick up that 6th item to fill up his inventory, and things get very hard to manage for them here. Like, I think EG have a huge lead at this point in the game.
This is their best shot at a good counter fight too, because there's a lot on cooldown and a lot not even up. Gyrocopter could be forced here to pull out the buyback right now, or be at risk of losing some structures here in the mid lane. Early Cliff going to be popped out. Good sidestep, and it's just LGD going to try their best to spam out this creep wave and keep EG back. All right, well, see you later, Tidehunter. One shot, 1 kill there for Sumail. Tier 3 down, and look, already EG doing so much more work than LGD have been able to do all game inside the base. After already taking down what's been done in the mid lane, they go right for the bottom. Tier 3 is going to be going down, and this is it. LGD better do something about it, or this game is going to be gone fast. They get the 1 Rax. Arteezy now looking to walk on out, but they make their move for Universe here. Magnetize going to be committed, but Fear steps in, gets the boat off right now. And look at this repositioning from EG. They feel like they can re-engage here and possibly close the game out. No, it looks like they'll just do some mild footsie play here and decide to kind of de-escalate the situation a bit. Are LGD considering a pursuit here?
I don't think they really want to. They haven't got Ravage right now. Arteezy is just massive. He had the courier looking to buy a Skadi. There we go. Skadi gets picked up.
Man, they took down that base so fast. So fast.
Well, EG looking fantastic now as they take a lead in terms of racks and
Bam.
find themselves in control of this game for now.
The outs for LGD have gone down significantly at this point.
It's so hard for like the Lycan to guarantee kills when you're fighting into these Ghost Scepters, the Ethereal Blade as well, another option to try and save teammates or yourself, or just use it on the Lycan offensively.
And then once your shapeshift is done, you just feel like almost worthless at that point. There's the BKB forced, all at the expense of a casual Ethereal Blade hit. But, I mean, what do you think? All or nothing LGD as their cooldowns do come up?
Possibly needed. They're going to have to go through 2 Morphling lives, though. Very difficult. Lena's got a BKB now. This Ravage is just incredibly unreliable because of the BKBs on the EG side.
Oh my! Universe says, how's it going right there with a big Echo Slam dropped right in the mid lane. And then they quickly skid on out. Big damage here on both ROTK and maybe a bit. They are going to be able to finish off ROTK. They look for the next follow-up right now. They get the pullback, and it's going to be Sylar. He's down. 80 seconds. Does have a buyback here. Then they grab DDC, which means they will get the gem. EG, I think that this could be the beginning of the end here. They stride on forward and potentially look to finish off what they had started inside the LGD fort.
Yeah, both. Oh, Lycan can buy back. Tide cannot, but even with the Lycan coming back into the picture, EG are still going to be able to just push forward, it feels like. Conquer Boat, very short cooldown will come up soon, and EG just have this Morphling with no answers.
Yeah, not nearly enough control for him. Now it's like, yeah, you would love to have that Desperation Ags kick back into the fountain right now, but they don't have it. Call down here. The last bits of ammunition coming out from LGD to try to save their own home base here. PPD with a nice swap back, looking to get rid of DDC. The Laguna will secure its fate. Maybe he's able to moosh on forward and get the kill on the PPD. Arteezy possibly set to go down here. They'd have to burst him down twice, as you said. Magnetize could do it. He pops his own BKB, makes it to the low ground and into the safety zone. LGD are going to be forced to hustle back, but damage being done. Hell, even the Replicant getting in on the sieging damage, it looks like.
EG just have too many tools to kite with. Force Staffs, Glimmers, BKBs, making life just impossible for the LGD carries to secure these kills, and it's just been such a well-executed game from the high ground defense, and EG just stalling things so incredibly well, forcing out BKBs time and time again, making it so LGD were never really in a position where they're on the high ground, they have a big creep wave, they have their carries holding their BKBs, and they're getting a lane of racks cleanly. The only time they took the racks was when it was 4 heroes plus an Aegis taken in return.
And I don't think they're going to have that luxury ever again. It would take a bit of a throw coming out from EG to kind of give LGD that opportunity once more.
Satanic, much needed. This is one of those things where you take a shotgun to the face, you BKB's down, you can hopefully lifesteal your way back up. But there's an Ags, Lena, there's plenty of other options for EG. Arteezy gonna resort to some cheeky little measures as well. Has a Replicate to back himself out of this, and
yeah,
he's in, he's out. And
LGD are there, and they're like, what happened? That's it. One more left is between them and Megas.
It's almost like if you try to go all down mid lane, Morphling's just going to come, take that last Rax, get Megas, and then come back and defend with 2 lives, or possibly be in a position where he doesn't have to come back and defend because he can win a base race against your entire team. So life gets very hard for EG here. Morphling already running towards top lane to put himself in that position to take that last Rax. Should LGD go for that desperation 5-man all-in down mid kind of play. Familiar's already being forced to be resummoned, which is always annoying for Visage not to have a double Familiar set in a team fight.
Yeah. But this could be it. They're like, maybe we can get the jump on this Morphling and take him out. But just as soon as they think about approaching, you know, he's already long gone. Opportunities long gone. And LGD, it's back to the drawing board here. You know, second Aegis, you know, hoping to get a Rax, some serious base, but they didn't get that. Third, finally got a Rax, but by that point, they needed to be able to, well, pretty much get the win. The timing window's gone, and It's EG's game.
Yeah, it's going to be EG getting Aegis cheese.
Yes.
Even before that, they could just win this game. It's LGD at some point are going to just feel like they have to make a desperation play, and EG, unless they panic and react in an awful way, they have plenty of ways to deal with it. They've got the buybacks, they've got the ability to go for the base race and win it. They can just get the megas, TP back Morphling, and fight with their buybacks. There's no pressure on EG at all. They're just going to wait for LG to make that desperate play.
And as EG continue to wait for the
Oh,
Roche.
they waited for Morph to come.
Okay, they get the Ravage. Is it going to be enough? Lincoln's going to be popped. Silence isn't going to be there, and Arteezy will step out, and there will be no stop of the TP.
Almost caught it. They were camping there.
Ravage
waiting
is
for
down. EG might not even need
true.
to go for Roche.
Good point.
Maybe they could just end the game out here and now.
Yeah. Right
Unless
idea
they
from
wanna play it super
LGD.
safe.
Their play like that they were trying to make was like, let's wait out the Morph. He's going to come back top. We'll camp here for him and try and burst him down. But Arteezy, just the Lincoln's BKB too much to be able to kill him off.
Here it comes. One last rack stands between LGD and having to play defense of the Megas. And Arteezy's going to be going in with his final weapon, the Butterfly. We'll see. A Hail Mary kind of a play here coming out from LGD. Oh, gets the fissure on the Sylar here, but no preemptive BKB going to be forced out yet. Does go into Shapeshift. There's the BKB. And he's hustling for something right now. Goes for Sumail and realizes that that wasn't good. He gets quickly spiked with a Laguna. The dog gets slapped in the nose, and Sumail self-fuels Arteezy. Quick pop, takes down DDC. Now looks for RTK. He's going to get that kill as well. A double, maybe looking for a triple. Trying to get a hold of Maybe here, maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe. Just gets slammed into the ground, and that's going to be the end of it. EG will take game number 1 against LGD.
Man, Arteezy having a hell of a game on the Morphling, but EG as a whole, as a team, just playing things so well from a defensive position. I don't even want to say they were ever really behind this game, because it was very much the way the strategies matched up, where LGD were always the lineup that put themselves in a position, rushing BKB on Lycan and Gyrocopter, where they had to get Roshan and take towers, take racks very early on, and it was a game where LGD, their draft